world, and say why music. Hello world, and say why music, and you can roll with it or refuse it. I say hey, ways of the world, this is my day. Something like BK, have it my way. This is my time, I'ma shine so much.
Oh.
He is only AY bleeding young.
And he's Timo Peach.
Yes, he is. And this is
the Global Goals Music Roadshow. You got a friend in me. AY is the guy writing while he's also in the, how like when the thing comes on, they're just like doing something. They're just like, oh, hi. Like on the old school.
Oh,
show.
You caught me. Yeah, that's nice. I like that very light, friendly tone. Welcome to the Global Goals Music Roadshow. I was about to launch into something. I go, no, that's not where I do that, because we've done this before and we're professional.
Well, dude, the show is designed to empower you, to change your world with us and shape a healthier future for the planet. Our mission is to turn the people of the world, humans, or, as I like to call everybody, outlets, into, this battery to power change charged with the universal language of music.
Music, my friend. Now he is in the US, I am in the UK, and we're both music artists and change makers passionate about encouraging you to help be part of positive human planet change right now when we need it most. And we found our passion through making music, and this is only some of his music.
Be my one desire.
Yo, and this is some of his music. Huh?
Nostalgia like crack addicts enter, looking back on where all our ways goes. We guess somebody knows now nothing's as it used to be, cause it's never about you or me. And in joy and in grief I can feel the relief to let go, to know I am free.
Oh, that's such a sexy lad.
Yes. Well, I don't know about that. I think he's more built for comedy than sex appeal myself. But anyway, that's not appropriate today. We are now at the point where we're asking you, what is your passion? Because we want to help you plug your passion in. That is the place to start. Passion is where change starts. Am I right, my friend?
Yeah, totally. But we need to make a thing that's like, what's in your wallet? And then be like, and then guys, donate.
We really should.
That what's your passion thing reminds me of that commercial.
You do it every week. It's true. We ought to pastiche that and do it. Definitely. Look, now, AY is the young leader for the US to the UN, if you didn't know. And he's been coming to prominence through his 100% renewably charged battery tour. Big plans are afoot. And in the meantime, I'm here to keep him well hydrated. And this is this week's brew, sir. So if you fancy a little top up, there he is. There it is, right there. And topping it up across the pond. And
wow. What's in that one? What's in
I couldn't put it into words.
Short and stout. What did I just drink? What's happening to you?
It will, as if you need the help, make you even more cosmic. That's all I can say. It's probably the time we ask that question, the next question, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, totally. Like, I mean, what, who the heck, like, I mean, we normally ask a few guests to join us and share how they're facing the possibilities in climate change and like social inequality wherever they're at in the world. and how they can use these global goals as a framework for thinking.
I think it's probably time we did all that. Yes, I think it is.
Global goals cast from the east to the west. I said, can you guess where the global goals casts are from this week?
Because they could be basically from anywhere.
I mean, yeah, dude, like pretty much anywhere.
Who do we?
Our first guest.
What do we have?
Who do we have on International Youth Day? It's our great pleasure to welcome the one and only Kelly.
Oh,
Hi.
hello, girl.
It's so great to be here. Thank you for welcoming me.
You're very welcome
wait,
indeed.
hold up. You know what I'm saying? Because we got my brother from another mother, the one and only Sean here. Sean!
What is up, beautiful people? What is up? What is happening? Good to be here. Oh,
It's welcome to the show as well. Sean, that's a heck of a den, man. You look like you're doing the best of late night soul radio. And not because of the hair, but because of all that kind of wood and CDs. And I love it. That's nice.
thank you. Thank you.
And I couldn't agree more with Timo and the Battery Tour. Sean Hill has a cool afro.
Yeah, it's true. I can't do
I
that.
forget it's there. I forget it's there sometimes, to be honest.
Beautiful. I'm actually loving all our hair tonight. We're all bringing reasonably strong hair game. Mine's nuts, but still I like it.
Wow.
Look, welcome to the show, guys. It's beautiful to meet you all. So, first of all, where in the world are you? Kelly, where in the world are you?
I'm in Canada, so your friendly neighbor up north right now.
Whereabouts?
In Waterloo, just outside of Toronto.
Okay. And Sean, where in the world are you?
Yeah, I'm all the way beaming from Inglewood, California. Inglewood, where we're up to a lot of good, actually. A lot of rap songs say we're up to no good, but we do a lot of good. We do a lot of good.
That's awesome.
We'll get into that. Lovely. Where do you want to start, man? We've got so much to talk to these two about.
There's so much. First of all, Kelly, man, it's so good to have you on the show. This girl's awesome. It's also Youth Day. So this kind of plays into what you do for the youth. And Sean, man, we got so much to talk about when it comes to culture and all of the things that you bring to the table. But yeah, how about you, Kelly? Like tell everybody what you do. Who are you? What you do?
Yes, hi everyone. So my passion is bridging opportunity gaps for young people to create a better world. I've spent pretty much the last decade helping young entrepreneurs develop their skills to prepare for the future economy and do youth-led innovation programs around the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. One big initiative in particular and how AY and I met is last year I made history with the world's first virtual global youth takeover event for the United Nations 75th anniversary. We united young people in 114 countries, upskilled and trained over 2,000 delegates as part of a free skills enrichment program. And the core element of it is around connecting youth in interactive, inclusive spaces with senior decision makers to co-create solutions around specific SDGs. So I'm really big on making sure that it's not that we create spaces for tomorrow's leaders to not just be seen as a voice, but to truly actively get to be an equal participant in the solution and lead the solutions now.
Oh my God.
Just.
I know, right?
I'm so excited. I'm just so excited here.
She's a
Kelly,
beast, bro. She's a beast.
And I know, Kelly, that barely scrapes the surface of what you've been doing. I don't know how you have time to be a normal human being and some of the things that you've done. Entrepreneurship. So you're really driven by helping young people connect with the whole idea of business and innovating. What inspired you about that? You launched your first business age 19, didn't you? And then you've won, loads of awards for your business work and your coaching. Where did business start for you?
So for me, my journey was really kind of roundabout. And I think that it is for most entrepreneurs. Like it's a very organic journey where an entrepreneur really consciously says, I'm going to just be an entrepreneur. I was in school for biomedical science and business. Like it was not related to what I'm doing now. I was like, suffice to say, I was the girl with a pink tie-dyed bedazzled lab coat. So at least I still had my pizzazz.
Amazing.
I was totally her science nerd. And then really what changed for me was I really believe leadership and innovation has to just do with initiative. When you see a problem, entrepreneurs and leaders are ones who say, what can I do to fix that? And that's really the step for any part of my journey has always been on finding gaps and taking the responsibility to trying to solve that gap. And for me, it started off with seeing the passion and energy youth have and our generation has, but also seeing that my peers were equally lost, confused, or left out of the pathways that they needed to tangibly actually fulfill their purpose or pursue the ideas that they wanted. And so my journey started first with youth media on connecting and interviewing celebrities on leadership and social impact as a way to create more positive content to guide them. And then from there, having to go more tangible with building skill programs and innovation programs that they could apply that passion and energy to implement the solutions. Because our generation knows the world they want. What they need is the how. They need the pathway on scaling and implementing their projects.
And your business, Bridging the Gap Ventures, you claim to reach some 15 million young leaders and entrepreneurs now. That's amazing reach. How have you done that?
I mean, you're really doing that.
The world needs more collaboration, and if I could just do one tip for everyone who wants to move fast is we go farther together. And so a lot of the core crux to my success has always been around collaboration and creating strategic alliances and partnerships with like-minded organizations so we can essentially serve a larger audience. And so in doing so, we've created an alliance of probably the top 100 plus youth-led organizations around the world to now give organizations a streamlined pathway to reach young people in 243 nations and territories. So there's 245 in the world. So pretty much every player in the world, we can access young people. And that's through being passionate and clear with conviction of what that vision is and always looking at it from a perspective of how can I serve you? And I think that's the best way in business to move farther is how do you add value to others? And that's the basis of creating partnerships.
Sean, you've been nodding and just applauding there.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I know this is a powerful start, right? I'm like, gosh dang, I'm just like watching Kelly talk and listening. I'm like, holy crap. And can I say something too on the whole, like, what did you just say? You said something about adding value. Like that's powerful. I think about my relationships every day. And it's like, how can I add value to the people around me and my relationships? So I mean, that's a good concept to take. Whoever's listening, welcome to the Global Goals Music Roadshow, just in general, in life, in general. Sean Hill, bro. Tell them what you do, bro, and who you are. What's up, man? Just switching mode.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, before I even get into myself again, like you guys, like that, Kelly, like thank you for what you're doing. It's so good and it revitalizes my whole being that as an artist, like I know things like you're doing are happening. So it's just, again, it's one of those things that I just love hearing about. And I love knowing that you exist, that you're doing that work. Okay. So let me just get that out the way. Oh my gosh. So welcome. So welcome. So basically I could sum up most of what I do with my mission statement. It basically is revolving around creating, supporting, and manifesting inner and world peace in a realistic and fun way. All right. Wow. So that's everything that I realized I've been wanting to do. Right. So with acting, I do it. With poetry, I do it. With hosting, I do it. With writing workshops, with different schools and colleges that I visit, different organizations that I visit, connecting people in their own community with the power of poetry, creating almost like a mini open mic night of a workshop so people can like actually learn who each other is and not just this face value that sometimes we only get as human beings in this world. And then last but not least, I've also become a speaker now. After doing a TED Talk, I became like, everyone thought I'm like good at speaking now. So I do speaking engagements. And then last but not least, I also put in humanitarian because I realized that when you have a title like humanitarian, it does make you focus more for yourself even and the kind of things that you want to do to serve the world, as Kelly was saying, to be in service. So that was, yeah, thank you for saying that again, Kelly. Oh my God, I'm going to thank you probably 3 more times. Just that being.
I mean, Timo, can we second the line that you just said, Sean, about focusing on yourself? Like, I keep having this talk with people because people go, I want to change the world, right, Timo? And a lot of young people always like, I want to change the world. I want to do this. I want to be an actor. And it's interesting because as I find, in order for us to change the world or really, change anything, it starts from within. It starts from yourself, focusing on you, self-work inside, knowing who you are and your why. And I think that you, Sean, do a great job through writing, through speaking, through poetry, helping maybe people even identify that self of them, right? Just expand on that thought in general, Sean, like the idea of in order for us to, as youth of the world, do these things, we may have to go inside, right?
Right. Absolutely have to. You reminded me of a story that when I did after school teaching for a few years, right? And I was teaching poetry as an after school program. And this one kid was like, actors get paid so much money for all this stuff. They don't even do that much, right? And it was really interesting. Of course, I was like, I got to be an adult right now. I can't be offended by that statement. I was like, high school student, let me relax. And so, I said, what don't you like about them, right? Or like, what's this thing about? And in terms of even getting paid, right, and the things that they do to get paid for what they do, I said, hey, they're actually bearing their soul every time they perform. They actually are tapping in to who they are on such a deep level, if they're doing the work right, of course. A lot of actors, sometimes they get away with it, sometimes they don't. But most of us know the craft. Most of us understand the craft of acting to be storytelling at its most essential, where we're actually helping connect everyone in the world universally through storytelling. So we're doing that work of diving into somebody's life, researching someone's life, learning how to speak like them, walk like them, act like them, right? All those things, literally to act like someone that we are not, in order to find those things within us, to connect with another human being, and then show that on this screen and actually make that believable and honest, right? A lot of people think acting is lying. No, it's the most powerful, potent form of telling the truth.
It's the lie that tells the truth, as Neil Gaiman puts it, I think. And what you're talking about there is emotional truth, which is the thing that actually connects people and brings storytelling alive. You're part of Education Ensemble, aren't you? Which is, a big part of your work seems to be helping young people and others find their emotional truth, the yin rather than the yang. Is that right?
Absolutely. I mean, here's the thing with the yin and yang, we use both of those in theater, right? Even the protagonist, the antagonist, the good guy, the bad guy, they both are human beings in the story, right? So whether we're playing one or the other, we still have to tap into that humanity of whoever it is. So that's where I noticed, even with coaching and mentoring the kids in these, I'd say this last play that they did, we were helping them through monologues. Me and Miss Stella Church, who's the teacher and the original founder of Education Ensemble. She does that work, and we do it so well together. I'm going to talk about her for a second, maybe, but we do that work of guiding them through these monologues and asking these personal questions about who they are and their story to connect to these stories they're telling for other people, right? For other marginalized youth. And whether it's about, I'd say whether it's about being transgender, or it was about racial injustice and police brutality, whatever the topics were in our plays that we do, it was something that they all had a personal experience with. And to be able to guide them through that and talk about that stuff with them, that's the work that sometimes you don't see on the stage or on the camera. So
it's really interesting to bring this up, because one of the more recent conversations we've been having more in kind of the leadership space is around something I'm really passionate about when we look at future skills for youth is emotional intelligence. EQ is more important than IQ in the future of work, because IQ can be replaced by AI and robots. EQ is going to be essential for you to be able to interact and adapt into the environment. And so we were talking about this recently, because what is compassionate leadership? How does empathy, compassion come to leadership? And we're taught that leadership and emotion are separate. Like when you think about what we're taught as like a strong leader, you see this kind of man who never shows emotion, and is very kind of aggressive and in some ways robotic when you get into more these like very strong leader archetypes that we see. But it's very opposite. When you look at the most important leaders who have shaped our world, things like individuals like Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, all these individuals, they're individuals who showed emotion, who weren't afraid to shed a tear, to be compassionate, to empathize. They weren't the ones that were the robots that were able to like stare fear at the face and not show an emotion. And that's, I think, the essence, the leadership that's missed when we're teaching young people is emotion is actually the key to unlocking your humanity and building trust and connection with your audience.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, let me say something on that, because I mean, see, so that's interesting because you say like, emotion is the key, right? She says emotion is the key. Empathy. It makes me think about how music creates and is derived from emotion, is derived from feeling. So it's poetry, acting. You know, there's a comment on here. Julia, hey Julia, she said like never thought about acting that way. Interesting, right? And if you think like the way you're describing acting involves that empathy and that emotion. By the way, shout out to Debbie. I see a comment. I'm on the road again. Oh shoot, I don't know. I think she's singing a song, and I saw a comment by Caroline Peach. But to wrap it back around, it's just interesting, that thought of empathy and emotion, and how all those things are pieces of art, and that is how we what you say, unlock the key to you. Amazing thoughts, right, Timo? What's up, man? Go ahead, bro.
This is the power of art. This is why you and I champion storytelling and art and music to help bring alive the new songs and stories of us, because we need that more than anything else on earth right now. This is a cultural crisis. This is a ways of seeing crisis that we're talking about. But this is also the Global Girls Music Roadshow, and so we do think it's probably time to go.
What goal are you most plugged into? Seriously, we need to know what goal you like.
Sean Hill, tell us in 30 seconds, brother, which goal you most plugged into.
You guys are so fun. You have like the funnest little intros.
This is no laughing matter, mate. It's the SDGs. They're saving the world. Which one are you most plugged into?
It's not colorful at all.
No.
Yeah.
That's
If
how
I'm
many
not
seconds
making
you
real
have.
peace with laughter. Okay, 30 seconds. Okay. I'm actually rethinking everything. I was gonna be like social justice mixed with gender equality, but now I'm thinking health and well-being is my main one, I think, because that one helps solve all of them. I think that one helps as a ground level now that I really think about these goals. I've been looking at them for weeks, for months now, and I just feel like if we have that one really steady where everyone knows the full potential of their health, their mind, their heart, like Kelly was saying, the emotional intelligence, we would see every other goal so clearly and so effectively want to make everything else better that quickly. So I just think now that's my goal now.
No, that's great. And sure, that's goal number 3. Kelly, well, I mean, AWA's moved so fast, he's disappeared already. But Kelly, what goal are you most plugged into, do you think?
Well, I usually cross-cut between 2, but I have SDG 8, which is decent work in economic opportunity, which is really where the crux of what I focus on with young people, on youth employment and development. But the crux to that is actually SDG 4, which is education, future skills education for youth. Because education truly is the power that changes the world. It's either lack of education, miseducation, new education. At the end of the day, knowledge is power, but it's how you wield that to create wisdom. And so I think that's the key piece to really inform the rest of the goals.
Knowledge is power, but it's how you wield that to make wisdom. Yes, and amen, and preach it.
I love what she just said. That's awesome. Like knowledge is power too. Yeah. I mean, and it's interesting. Education. Yeah. It's like, the lack of it, right? Or, all those different things within education. Just like education is awareness. It's all these things that, could impact change, right?
Well, you look at a lot of the issues even today when we look at everything from a lot of the any conversations around even things like racism, gender equality, all of these things. Some of it has to do with education. Like their ignorance can be overcome with education. When you're educated on how to talk about issues, what words to use, what language isn't appropriate anymore. Part of that is education, and other parts of it is then kind of an outdated education that needs to be updated, or sometimes a lack of it. So I think at the end of the day, that's what, especially in today's world with data and information is so powerful. And we see this with fake news and all these things. We need to be educated to be able to use the information for good in this world.
Yeah, we do.
And I think the more that we focus on new models, because the current education system is failing us, like it just can't keep up with what the changes are. So I think that's a key one.
If I might, sorry to interrupt, but I was just thinking that it for me, the key problem is that arts is missing. To me, that's central. We should be teaching STEAM, not STEM. And every time another politician says STEM, I'm going, no, you're not teaching children how to express themselves, how to ground themselves in their own bodies, deal with their emotional truth, all the stuff you need to cope with everything, never mind become an innovator. But
literally half of your brain, like it's literally your entire right brain thinking. We don't foster. We're just left brain. And then so you wonder why there's so many problems in this world and why we're so polarized when we're not actually taught to create harmony even in our own brain and being of the way we see the world.
Yeah, I agree. Look, I found something interesting that jumps in here quite usefully. It's while we're talking big organizations like the UN, another one, the World Economic Forum on today's, International Youth Day. These are the headlines that they found talking to young people around the world that they would like to see enacted as ways forward for seizing the green revolution. And I think some of these topics here are interesting. They're from people around the world. You can see there Argentina and Nigeria, Belgium, lots of different places around the world. Achieve net zero transition. Young people appear to be saying, no kidding. Create inclusive jobs. Prioritize mental health. Yeah, back to that. Rethink the future of politics. We need a system change. Accelerate digital access and also ensure expand digital literacy. I think they're two interesting ones about inclusion and how the world really is now. Pursue conscious consumerism, but also find interesting, support next generation ESG, environmental social governance. What do you guys make of these findings the World Economic Forum are saying they found from young people? Do they ring true with the people you're dealing with? How do you feel about those?
Yes. In terms of right now, with Younga, we survey young people around the world, and the top 5, the priorities change each year, but I would say the top 5 this year so far for 2021, mental health is bumped up, followed by education is number 1 by far. Unanimously 2 years in a row is the top priority, a gap that they want to fill, and then followed by that is inclusive jobs, which they just said, around equality and inclusion, and mental health, because now we look at the pandemic, mental health struggles have only been exacerbated as we feel more isolated and disconnected and more alone. We need more solutions that are teaching us how to take care of ourselves, our mind and our body, to be able to, before we can lead change, we have to be able to be our best selves, is what I believe.
See, that goes back to self. In order to make change, we need to be our best self. So let me ask you this question, Sean, right? Yeah, let me ask you this question, and maybe Kelly can bounce off of it. I know we got so much, going down. And by the way, shout out, first of all, this is anyone watching, this is the Global Goals Music Roadshow, right? We got Kelly here from Younga. We got the one and only Sean here. I see a comment actually. Wait, hold up. There's a lot of factors that influence the educational system. This is from Evelyn from last week. She was on the show. Politics and economics, teacher autonomy and creativity is often squashed by external confines and demand. That's a good comment.
Yeah.
Now, what I was going to say, I was going to toss you guys a super quick question because, again, I keep hearing self, and that's another thing, And I would say this, hey, if I'm a young person, right? Because there's young people that will watch this, through EarthX, through our platform in general. And I know you hear this all the time, Kelly, but Sean, hey, I want to change the world. I want to pursue acting or whatever. What would you tell them if they're listening and they want to be you, or they want to just make an impact? Like, what, Sean? What would you tell someone?
I would say be ready for the most exciting, excruciating, painfully beautiful journey that you could ever experience. That would be the beginning part of this whole, I'd say, transformation of what it is to be an artist, especially an actor or a poet. It's such a hard and wonderful kind of payoff to have, because I know that all the topics that I dive into, the average person doesn't want to. The average person doesn't have time to make. The average person doesn't, like we were saying, have the education sometimes to even think critically about these topics. So I know I'm taking it upon myself to make sure that I dive into not just personal stories of people and do that primary source kind of research, but then also I'm also just being myself, honestly, where I'm digging into what I really, really think and what I really, really feel, even if it doesn't feel good sometimes. And I think that's the most humbling part of being an artist, is that it's not always about, bright lights and big stages. We forget about the work we put in and the battles we've gone through with family, with friends, to get to where we are. And I just want to make sure that people know that as much as you can educate yourself and be ready for that knowledge of knowing what to do, like Kelly says so brilliantly, the wisdom to wield that knowledge properly and lovingly is everything. That's everything. So I would say that. I could say a lot more, but that was, I could sum it up like that.
Yes.
What about you, Kelly? Like, that was amazing, Sean. Like, but what would you
I'm really big on kind of my 3 pillars for someone who wants to tangibly take next steps to dive in. 3 things that I think you need are self-belief, intention, and action. And so what I mean by that is what we talked about. Self-belief is your number one thing you need to be able to pursue any change in your life, innovation, etc. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to be able to get other people to believe in you, and people will continue to push you and change you and try and say, oh, well, to be in the industry you need to be like this, or you need to look like this.
Oh my God, I dealt with that every day.
And if you don't have self-belief and knowing who you are, you're going to just get washed up in those tides and lose your authentic mission. Intention is really important. You need to be clear of why you're doing something and be crystal clear on those values behind it, because that is the piece that people connect with, is the intention behind the initiative, not so much on the what.
Right.
And
I ask people that all the time on the why, because people say, I want to be I want to be known, or I want to have influence. And I'll say, why? Because if you're doing it for fame, if you're doing it because you want people to notice you, or you want a bunch of followers, or you just need to feel important, all of those things, you got to get. Go ahead, continue. Go ahead.
Well, no, it's true, and it creates a tone. There's an undercut tone to what you do based on your intention. And I guarantee you, when you come from pure intention or that heart-based leadership, that resonates stronger with anyone, and you'll start to attract people to help you on your mission based on that clear intention. And then the third is action. At the end of the day, what makes leaders is initiative. Leaders are individuals who take initiative to solve problems and see themselves as responsible to taking an effort on it. And so I think passivity is one of the greatest plagues right now in our world. Is we look at a lot of the challenges in the world and we look to others to be the solution for it, as opposed to seeing what we can do for it.
Yes, I agree. Now you are singing from the playbook of A.Y. Young here. Sorry, Sean, go.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one more thing to this, because I also realize an anchor to something that's your safe space, your safe place also is so important. It's so integral to not lose yourself, like Kelly's saying. An anchor, whether it's your family, whether it's someone you can be fully yourself with around, whether it's a journal where you're not writing songs or writing lyrics, just writing for yourself. Just any anchor that you have to keep yourself focused, sane, and at peace, essential. Okay, please go ahead.
No, anyway, I was going to say, how do you handle this as a young leader?
Yeah.
How do you keep an
Yeah.
anchor in yourself in the, you know, the upfront role that you've got?
Yeah, I mean, it was all the things that you guys said. Now that I look back on it, like one of my anchors was music, right? Just being able to live perform was my meditation, was what kept me rooted. Also, one of my anchors, now that I look at it, was not being on the stage. It was being with the people and being one, because that developed me, you know, with this concept as I did these hundreds of shows that, you know, everyone's an outlet, right? And I know all about knowing yourself, because once I knew myself and I was like okay with being who I was and saying hey to who I was, you know, there are so many times when people would meet me, you know, on the corner and hey man, you're really great. Why are you on the corner? Why don't you just get on the stage? You know, but it's like I get on the stage, but then I'll destroy the world. I'm trying to bring this new thing. I mean, for years people were like, well, you're not a real artist. You know what I'm saying? Because like there are all these things and normalities that artists do, right? Like a real artist isn't a street performer, even though I had real music that I used to open up for Wiz Khalifa. This, right? It's all this. Like, think about it, but a real artist has to be on a stage. Really? Is that? Why do we even have to have a stage? Why do we have to elevate ourselves above all the other humans?
Yes.
Right, Sean?
Yes.
Right? I mean,
Preach.
Yes.
trying to get rid of the six walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
journey's been crazy.
We need to demystify what art is, that it's not for some sort of high level group of priests. It's an innate human need, actually, which art has been robbed of us in this life. But AY, that's a whole thesis. But AY, you know, how did you get here? Should we roll VT and see a little bit your backstory?
Man, it's just a lot of what I just spoke about. Like, let's show them a little bit of the journey. If you guys don't know, on the way to projects, and by the way, before we show you the journey, you guys already know what we're doing, right? You know, we're bringing the world. That's what this show is for, right? Like, you know, I mean, Sean, by the way, we here with Sean Hill, you know, he's kind of like, you know, working on the poetry album, you know what I'm saying? But
yes,
I mean, what we are, right? We're making the world's first sustainable album, you know, one song for each goal. And, you know, Sean Hill is the voice of the men. I just want to shout out Sean Hill for like coming here and building this, you know, with us, man, making this project 17.
Thanks,
so yeah, man. I mean, it's been crazy, like trying to shoot. I'm looking for like the right slide, bring the world together. And so this slide makes me look at us today. Like we got Sean Hill, who's like an activist and an artist, and then Kelly on the business and an influencer. I mean, and that's what we're doing, right? We've been bringing the world together. So yeah, let's get him started. Tell him how it happened.
A local hip-hop artist makes an international name for himself. He is the first artist to power his concert with 100% renewable energy.
It is a real honor to recognize Mr. A.Y. Young, the founder of Battery Tour.
It's incredible. Can't wait for you to see this. The United Nations is now throwing its support behind him.
Mr. Young has made a big impact in his young life, born in 1991. He's a singer-songwriter, a dancer, producer, entrepreneur, and sustainability advocate. He's staged and performed more than 800 concerts. He was named by the United Nations recently as one of 17 youth world leaders of the world, the only individual selected for that honor from the United States.
Forward to stimulating this local economy further, bringing entrepreneurs together, bringing businesses together, bringing the world together so we can make some change. I'm AY with the Battery Tour, and we're here in Honduras. It's beautiful. We're going to bring power, solar energy, medical supplies, reading glasses, all those things to the people of Honduras. Hey, mama. If it's true.
The Global Girls Music Roadshow International News Bulletin. Brought to you by top correspondent Timo McNewsface.
Hello, yes, this is the International News Bulletin of the Global Girls Music Roadshow with me, Timo McNewsface. And of course, the big news in climate this week is the report by the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. It's released the first of 3 parts of its new State of the World report, and the news is not good. Made up of leading climate scientists from around the world, split into 3 working groups and a task force. It is an impartial body that synthesizes information from all the best climate data we have. And the news coming out of this is threefold. Humans are unequivocally responsible for global warming. Some climate systems, such as continued sea level rise, are now unstoppable. But though it is very late, we could still change things. I'm joined by 2 different correspondents today. First of all, I believe it is...
Is that my agent calling?
I believe it is the local decider who is joining us.
Hello. I read the report. I gotta say, we can't be doing that bad. I mean, I do a little bit here and there.
What do you make of the idea that we're on the brink? That this is, as the scientists put it, our last warning before the next report, after which it will not be stoppable.
Well,
what do you make of this?
I think this stuff's kind of stupid. Oh, we're going to die today. We're going to die tomorrow. What am I supposed to do? Affect my bottom line? My guys, my company, we make a lot of money. I don't feel like changing a dang thing. The old ways are great.
Well, according to the some 234 scientists who have contributed to this, sifting through 14,000 odd pieces of separate data with some 75,000 specialist comments added in, I don't think business as usual is working.
Anybody? Do we really know? Is science really real? It seems like a bunch of bull crap.
Well, it turns out that, yes, science is really real, and this is a very scientific, systematic study, and the science is unequivocal. We are changing the climate, and it will change the way we do business.
I feel it's not real, and what I feel matters. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like changing. I don't even think it's real. I don't even believe in it.
Yes, well, we seem to have lost the local decider there, our currently chief feelings correspondent, apparently. But in this report, Climate Change 21, the physical science basis, this is the latest report since 2013, and the metrics for measurement have got significantly better. So we know more accurately, with more certainty and lots of certain use, that these metrics are true. I'm joined now also by another correspondent, I believe. Yes, it is. It's the local rocker. Hello? Is that the local rocker?
Hello.
Yes.
I am so thankful to be on show. I've been singing, "Can you take me higher?" I want to impress a younger girl. She seems cool. I could rock her stage with superstars.
Yes, she is certainly very cool, and she's one of many young change makers who want change around the world as soon as possible and don't want to leave it to another generation. As she said earlier, they know what they want, they just need the how. How might you help from a local perspective?
Oh, well, it's clear. It is clear that we must do things locally. We must grow locally. We must educate people locally. Tell them, know who you need to know and get known, more known, and make more moves.
Yes, indeed. What do you make of the idea that the Earth is warmer now than it's been since before the last ice age, 125,000 years ago, and that CO2 in the atmosphere has reached levels not seen in 2 million years? Does this worry you where you live locally?
I'll be honest. I do not know many things about this world and environment. I am new to this SDGs. But I know I am 45 with 4 kids and possibly one on the way. And I want my kids to have a life, to have a home locally, to grow. I am known from here all the way to my city, Overland Park, because
I'm terribly sorry. We seem to have got cut off there. That's a terrible ballad. What a shame. That was the local rocker. I have been Timo McNewsface on the International News Bulletin of the Global Girls Music Roadshow. If production can find the video to let me get out of this, which they don't seem to be able to do, and so I'll just keep filling until they do this.
the Global Girls Music Roadshow International News Bulletin. Brought to you by top correspondent Timo McNewsface.
Hey y'all, I'm Amy Hillman. I've been an educator for 27 years. Science is my thing. Welcome aboard in Getting Connected to become an outlet. I am a hashtag outlet teacher, and I want you to have a hashtag outlet classroom. AY and the Battery Tour have put together on this site some of the resources you're going to need to feel successful, bringing your learners in to make a change. There are 17 different global goals on the UN Global Goals page. Now that's many ways that we can reach out and become an outlet. AY uses his music to connect and make changes to become that very outlet. How will you become an outlet? Welcome aboard.
Now, we're all outlets, so we have to stay plugged into each other. So make sure you talk about the Battery Tour, you share this idea so we can plug you into all the outlets around the world and the other projects.
Yes, indeed. Well, education being, I seem to have frozen there. Education is the key there. So I got slightly distracted because I have apparently frozen in my own time stream. I don't know why. But especially extended news edition there for some reason because of the IPCC report. Guys, very quickly, what do you guys make of the news this week? Is it something you took notice of? Is it business as usual? How do you feel about it?
Oh, well, I'm still I haven't learned about it yet. I'm still taking it in. I just heard people saying how devastated they were about it. And I've been helping a friend of mine with kind of just personal bipolar stuff this week. So now I can get back to the work and the creativity that I've been getting into about this stuff. It sounds intense though. I'm kind of scared just even hearing about it, like what we're talking about.
Well, I think it just builds upon what we were just talking about of how important information can be in helping to educate us in the directions we need. So information like this is really important to be aware of and also to keep an open mind of what the solutions are to move forward. It's a perfect invitation for young people when we're talking about the SDGs and when we learn about things like this, a challenge to listeners and viewers out there of, again, we see a challenge, how can we be a part of that solution? So as we're looking at these things, the questions that always come to mind is, okay, what are the actions we need to take to change these outcomes? How can we move to a more positive trajectory?
Yeah. We talk on this show always for that reason about start by plugging in your passion, because I think that this news makes everybody feel helpless, and either people switch off, which is what most people do, or they jump up and down on Twitter and still feel helpless but go, everybody do something, or they may even feel antagonistic the other way because our world system is such that none of us trust governments and things coming down from on high through big bodies like this. So it's very hard. But plugging in your passion where you are is the thing. Yeah,
agreed
mate.
On the passion thing. Sean, you're the man, bro. I didn't want to cut you off, Timo. Like you were just talking a lot about passion.
Well, I was about to throw to you for the big finish.
Yeah, totally. Like let's rock it. Kelly, first of all, can we like snap for Kelly? Because like, girl, you bring out knowledge, right? Ow! Ow! What were you saying, bro?
I think keep going. That was nice. I think you're about to say something to Sean, and then you were going to launch us into a whole thing.
Yeah. Oh wait, hold on. Like, give me like 1 second because there's a studio. Because I'm.
Yeah, but I mean,
Reek, can you hear me?
Yeah, but mate, we're right up against the hour, so you may as well just take it home, and then you can just 2 more minutes, and then you can.
I'm on the Global Girls Music Roadshow, but I'm literally putting my feet.
Only I can do this in the middle of a line.
Yeah.
Yo, so, I mean, literally, Reek is on right now. Yo, Timo, I got to go literally right now.
Have you though?
I got to work on the album, guys. Like,
It'll be amazing.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great.
Go. Yes. I know when he gets like that, you just got to let him run free. He's so productive, that man.
You've got to let him run free. He is so productive, that man. Damn straight. Yes, so that's the speed at which a showbiz changemaker moves. Kelly, I'm surprised you're still here, to be honest. I know you keep moving like that as well. So thank you for giving so much of your time to join us and share just a glimpse at the incredible energized work that you're doing. Have you got anything that you'd like to share people with? Where can we find more about you and the Younger Project?
Yes.
Where can people follow you?
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity. And I will say, Younga is...
Yeah.
Younga's actually free delegate program registration is open for another week. So if you're interested in a free 4-week skills enrichment and leadership opportunity to meet with high-level leaders like the Undersecretary General of the UN and
Amazing.
World Bank and a lot of really cool, powerful leaders, go to youngaforum.com and you can sign up there. And I would love to see you this September. We have a pretty killer program planned.
That is amazing. Look, that chair's still spinning. Kelly, thank you. Yes, I wish we could talk for more. Sean, if you can compose yourself, what would you like to leave us with as a thought?
You guys, okay. So here's the thing. If you haven't noticed by now, I'm about living life. And a lot of us, I don't know if we even know sometimes that we're not fully alive. So with my poetry, with my work, I offer that as a service, as a tool, as a resource for anyone that needs workshops immediately, sooner than later, to have a safe space to talk about anything you want. And we transform it into something creative and lovely and self-loving and self-affirming. So that's the one thing. I'm also, you know what? I'm also, check this out. I also made a pile of these books I have to sign and get out soon, right? And I'm an author, I'm an artist as well that actually put all my stuff out there into the world, but I'm horrible at marketing. So I'm trying to get better at reminding myself that this poetry really does help people. And it's something that every time a friend of mine or a client of mine tells me about, it makes me like, okay, let me focus again and get these books out sooner than later. So if you need books, if you need music, if you need poetry, if you need playlists, even I have YouTube playlists that are free. I just love giving them to people to help spark that inner peace, that world peace that we're all going to. And last but not least, I made a poem dedicated to y'all right now. Okay. So this is for you, Global Roadshow. Get ready. But where do we go if we don't know what our passion is? How do we do better if we don't feel motivated to get creative, elated to be inspired daily? So it's always 1/4 now to get moving. All these movements globally, compassionately leaving past archetypes behind that left us blind to our own pain, rethinking the future of politics, peace, art, education, and public health. So we have true wealth within. So we have true self-love and the ability to express it and not just have knowledge that we already know, but apply it with urgency, enthusiasm, and action, and wield it with wisdom like we learned to do on this Global Goals Music Road Show. Much love. Thanks for having me.
You have been listening to Sean Hill on the Global Goals Music Roadshow. Bless you, man. Join us, register, be part of the battery tour yourself at ayyoung.com. And a huge thank you to Kelly and to Sean, to both of you. Goodbye, Sean. See you. I wish we could hang for so much longer. I always do on the show. Bless you, man. And bless you, Kelly. Lovely to meet you. Ciao for now. And well, that's our show. Where do I even start in what we've learned? I think I'll say this. News like the report this week is just too big to take in. We feel helpless, but yet it's still happening. This is a thing that is defining a generation, like wars in the past or the threat of the atomic bomb, or so many big things that seem out of our control, and every generation stepped up to define themselves in meeting that challenge. The difference with this generation is that when they step up to the seemingly impossible, when we step up as a collective generation, no matter what our age. The difference is we will be changing the world for countless generations to come. If we can beat this, we won't just be surviving, we'll be transforming. And I think all the themes that our young people are exploring with great honesty and testimony and art right now is a call for all of us to wake up and rediscover ourselves. This has been the Global Gold Music Roadshow. I'm Timo Peach with AY Young. Ciao for now. Love you.